Hey, it's now time to salvage the last of the parts out of this instrument. I picked it up in an auction a while back, paid next to nothing. Got lots of parts out of the other ones. This one, there's a computer there, some fans, power supply. Well, what I'm going to do is disassemble it outside, take it inside where the bench is warm, and we'll take a look at it there. So here's the remaining parts out of that instrument and bonus item. I'll do the bonus first, since there's not much I can do with this. Uh, this is a UV lamp. This would be for sterilizing water. You got the inlet and outlet, or other way around. You've got a power connector here. I have no specs on this at all. This end here comes apart readily. I think I would need a monkey wrench to get the other end taken apart. And that's hefty stainless steel. So, let's get that out of the way. The power supply, that is filthy. I've removed the screws, and I actually had to drill one out. Here we go. It's an Artsian NFS 110 7602P. I found the specs for this one. And it's actually interesting because if you have power supplies like this, you might need to look at some of the specs other than what you just see here. Okay, it outputs 5.1, 8 amps, 24 volts at 3.5 amps, 12 volts, 4.5 amps, negative 12.5 amp. But there was a note on note 6. IA 5.1, IB for the 24 volts. It's only stable regulated on the 24 volt if you have IA divided by IB less than or equal to 5 volt or 5. So if you're using mostly the 5 volt and just the tiniest bit of the 24 may not be regulated. And there's lots of noise outside. So, that item out of the way. Some cables. We've all seen these. Get that out of the way. Voiceover time. There's a loud noise outside. Very nice solid state relay here. 3.5 to 32 volt DC to cause it to switch, and it can take 100 volt DC across 1 and 2. So that's not too bad. And made in Mexico or assembled in Mexico. And then above there's a bunch of fuse holders. Out of the way. Next piece. We've seen more than enough of these. There we go. This is actually in pretty good shape. Some EM suppression. Now, have you ever thought about what a Wago used to look like? Though I suspect these are still available. Here we go. It's a real Wago 251. This is kind of cute because you just build it up. Keep adding parts to it. Make sure that's in focus. So that's unique. Though there's probably millions of them out there. Next piece, and we'll be getting to this towards the end because I can take it apart. A 12 volt DC 30 PSI valve. In and out. Then, hey, we got more fans. 24 volt. 1 watt. They even give you the color code for it. Get that one out of the way. When you yank things out like this, make sure you keep your hardware with it. I'll have to go find the other screw. It only had two fasteners. Another 24 volt 1.2 watt with lots of hardware, including standoffs. This one was on the bottom. Here I am like this, trying to undo this, and it's got one of these down there. Yeah, until I flipped it over, I wasn't getting anywhere. Okay, this thing here, I think it's actually a heater. Because the unit actually, you can set the temperature for digesting your proteins. Apparently that's what this thing does. So I will pop this open, but I'm going to just take it off camera for a moment. Okay, taking out the screws. Okay. Okay, I got two spludgers and they're both hiding. Probably in the same spot. Let's see if, oh, there we go. Okay. What do we have here? Yeah, these got to be the heating element going around and around. And these here would contain very tiny little test tubes, I would suspect. But yeah, this has got to be the heating. Oh, and there we go. There's a temperature sensor that would sit right there. I'm just going to put this back together. So in Salvaged Electronics part 6, you would have seen this thing, and it would just come down, put the sample in, and move on to the next one. I think it's putting it in or pulling it out, or it does both. No idea. That's not my area of specialty. So now, let's get to this one. Get that out of the way. Now, I suspect this is a computer. Why do I think it's a computer? It's got a floppy drive. That's what I'm basing it on. So, let's see. Looks like I probably just go in through the bottom here. And let's see. How to tell somebody's age. Ask them a question. Have you used a 3.5-inch floppy? Have you used a 5.25-inch floppy? Have you used an 8-inch floppy? At any point in your life, did you have to enter in a computer program using punched cards? I did. Last year, they were used at the university. So let's zoom down on this one. Well, first thing would be to get the floppy drive out of there. It's just in the way. Yeah, it's been a while since I pulled a 3.5-inch floppy drive out of anything. But just 4 screws, 2 cables, one for data and one for power, and that one screw that gets in the way when you're trying to take it apart. And just have to remember where it goes, just in case I want to try to reassemble this. Not betting on that, though. So where did this one come from? Made in the Philippines. I even still have some 3.5-inch floppies around. So this could be a spare drive in case the one on my desktop goes down. So let's see what's in here. Right off the bat, okay, power comes in here, goes over here, turns around, comes back here, and goes right back out. Then it looks like, I'll adjust the light slightly. The power then comes back in here, goes through here. I think it's to this connector, and then it comes over to this one, and then goes back down to the other board. So we've got, this is probably like just a stock board that they bought. They might have had to make this one, and definitely they made this one. And then you got the ribbon cable going down to the display. I magically clapped my hands and everything fell out, which means I had a lot of issues. And it would have made this video horrendously long. What it was mainly, though, was that this board here, I took out the 4 screws. I didn't really think about these ones, and that was holding it in. So, neat little thing here is you got a pot that goes over to here, that comes to this, which I believe is just for moving it around on the screen here. Let's get that out of the way. So, this here, I think I already said, I suspect is just a straight, I'm going to zoom down. This is just probably a straight stock board that they purchased. The company that made this is not related in any way to the manufacturer of the equipment. Okay, this is a BIOS 486, 1998. Boy, that was a while ago, about 26, 27, 28 years ago. And over here we have, let's see, you can see their logo, Advantech, flash disk pioneers. So I would assume this is a flash disk. That's probably the processor there. Oh, no, that's probably the processor. They got a lithium battery. If you want to take a look at the chips, they even have a piezo. And here is your memory. Oh, you can actually read that. And on the other side, we have a lot more parts. Something from Korea. If you want to look them up, I think you can read them all. And then lots of little pieces. But as I say, that's going to be a stock board. Get it out of the way. Then, oops. So you then have your other board that just attaches to it. And this one here, I'll hold it so you can see the chips. That's going to have the RS485/422, RS232 here, mainly because it says it right there on the board. And a second channel. Okay, channel 1, channel 1, channel 2. So this was doing most of the communication. The other board was doing the processing. Then, this is kind of the power board. It's two things on it though. Okay, you had the power come in here and then head over to the other board. One was for the fan. And then we've seen this before where they actually make the one board separate and then just stick it on top. Probably just ease of manufacturing that way when you got something like this coil here. But the important part is going to be this here, which goes all the way over here. Okay, so it's getting the information from The other board? Oh yeah, okay. That cable there was probably one of those. And it's going straight over to here. And the reason I said this is important is because of the next part. Oh, let's look at this side. Not much. I'll hold it steady. Then I'll slowly rotate it if you want to see what chips are on there. Okay, now the good part. I've already detached this from its holder down here. But this is a 5.7-inch LCD display. And I've been able to find it on the internet too. It's a OSID and TW-22 94V-0, and there's also replacement boards and substitute boards for this display. So this is actually going to be one of those keeper type things which I will not damage. Though, of course, it may already be damaged. That might be why it was in the auction. That's kind of cute. They've got all these parts in here, capacitors, then they got tape on them. Maybe they figure it'll be heavily abused. But if you want to take a look at which chips are here, I'll just do the slow rotation. There we go. So this is going to be interesting. I should be able to reuse it. So that's it for this one. Got a floppy drive, 486 board, which is probably fully usable if I find the specs on it. Not that I would know what to do it with it. Fluff. Another board of just some components. A fan. And, oh yes, another power supply with the note that you got to make sure that you're staying within certain limits for the 24 volts. And this here is going to be probably a case for a project because it is actually quite handy looking. So that's it for this video. I'm probably going to do another fan video in a week's time with as many of the parts that I took from all this lab equipment piled up on the desk to see what it was all like. Well, have a good one, and bye.